Okay, so now we are back. Technical difficulties notwithstanding. Sounds good. Everybody's good. We have Morgan, Patch, Orion, and Seraph. These four gentlemen were two were engaging in some research. Three were engaging in research, and four was on a research expedition. That would be Morgan. So I want to start with Morgan. Okay. So the place is called Papachangos. It doesn't have a big sign or banner. It has a little decal on the window. It says Papachangos Curios, and then you see the like the Eye of Ra in the center of it. And
Okay.
in the window there are varying statues of different religions, primarily Catholicism, because that's more in line with the Voodoo religion. Um, and there is an older Haitian man. Well, he's older and black, and he looks like he's in his 60s. He's talking with an even older woman who is hunched over, and she has one of those gypsy scarves and a long coat. She's pushing one of those little shopping carts that fold, and you come in, the little bell chimes, and they both look in your direction because it seems as if they weren't expecting anybody to come through there. His head shot up, and he's giving you one of these looks. He's like, because you're Caucasian, red haired, and young. Yeah, that's unusual in Papachangos. So, I'll be right with you. And he finishes up his business with the lady, and she walks out. And she gives you
Who in my house?
a single she gives you a single tooth grin as she walks by you, and then for some reason as she smiles, and she's like, you can see her just taking just a small her face changes just a small bit in that one instant. She sniffs as if she's smelling you, and then she's like, and then just turns and walks out.
I'm gonna keep an eye on her at the corner of my eye as she walks through
Or
the
she's
gate.
just looking at you from the
After
window
what
like,
happened,
she's
yeah. After what
looking
happened
at
with
you from the window like.
Chipotle, I'm worried.
All right, so,
She fucking
so uh, the gentleman, he's like, how can I help you, sir?
I'm here to look for some
Liar.
books. You were the closest store on occult
Can you
or
raise your volume for a minute?
Santeria.
Maybe it's just me.
Oh, sorry, hold on. I'm looking for some books on the occult,
So, well, you came to the right place.
and you are the
It,
closest store.
it's like, well, that was a little hurtful, but you came to the right place. It's like, you're the closest. I didn't really want to come here. So you speak the Queen's English.
Yes. And if you have any charms against creatures, because I was attacked not too long ago,
You were.
and I would like something to protect or ward away these
It's like,
creatures.
it's like, wow, that's a lot to take in. Someone so young, you already have spirits. And as he's talking, he's just looking at you like around you, and he's just saying, "Yeah, there's something wrong with your aura." Hmm. And
Oh,
he leans over the counter and he's looking you up and down. Yeah, you definitely did have an encounter with a spirit. I could see it. Uh, so this here's that the problem is that there are many different classifications of spirits, and I can tell that you had some encounter, but I can't understand what you have. It's like, describe it to me. This will help with the charm.
it possessed that incident on the news. It
Get out!
possessed.
Get out of my shop now.
Okay, bye.
No, no, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So it possessed a woman and it twisted its body and it smelled awkward.
So describe it for me.
So I began to describe how it elongated its fingers and its body and how it clawed my friend
Mm-hmm.
was I was having lunch with. I'm leaving out why we were having lunch together, but you know, we were having lunch and it decided to attack us or me.
So has that happened before?
No,
Do you have any reason to believe that anyone would have? Do you have reason to believe that you have an enemy that would summon such a creature?
my family's background
Get
dabbled
out.
in it.
No. Good. You on a time delay? You can't hear me? He's like, get out of my store. No, seriously. He drops his accent completely. He's like, get out. Sounds like he's from Jersey.
Call me now.
Yeah, Miss Cleo. No, so he's listening to you, trying to take it in. He's turning. He's rubbing his hands together. You can see they have the texture of like sandpaper and granite from many years of hard labor. No, he's just all right. It's like, so you need a charm. Let's see what I can do. He's like, cash or charge.
How much?
It's like, well, for a charm for what you want, for the spirit that is hunting you. This ain't going to be cheap. It's like, this ain't no love potion or something silly like that. You have
So with
something that's
my
actively hunting you. So
I
someone brought it into this world from the spirit world to attack you. That is not something that goes against the natural law.
so can I roll my lore of magic and demon and monsters to put something together myself to
No,
try
that's
to
just that. The lore is just an understanding. It's not a practical application. So you do understand it. You've studied it, but to put something like that together, you would have to have some sort of alchemy type skills or chemistry,
I have
um,
chemistry.
or a combination thereof. But you're not a magic class, so
No, I'm not. Yeah.
it's just an understanding, not practical application. So he's like, "What are you broke?" It's like, yes, I am, sir.
But like, yes, I'm short on funds at the moment because
Hmm.
I lived on my family's wealth and they're all dead. They were murdered. Well, they were taken hostage and I have no access to it, being that I'm not directly bloodline.
Well, so
That's why I'm
well,
in America.
I'm sorry. It's like as much as I'd like to help you, I am still running a business. You see, so
Not a
unless you
problem.
have something to trade,
Like, what would you want?
something of value maybe, or a favor for a favor.
I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna pull out the broken CD, the DVD. Here, look at this.
So, I mean, if you put it on the counter, he's like, we don't see. This isn't Circuit City. We don't fix these things.
It has emanations on it. Touch it.
Does it now? So he just stares at it for a few minutes. It's like, what kind of emanations?
Uh,
He's just hovering his hand over it.
it made some people in Chipotle start looking around because
So
they
you
heard
want me to touch
screams.
this? Is that what it is? You want me to touch it? Unbelievable.
I touched it. So here, you can touch it.
So he doesn't touch it, but this hat's driving me nuts. I really need to get a haircut. Uh,
Clippers, man, clippers.
yeah, I don't trust myself. I'll end up with like half an eyebrow, and I meant to cut my hair. That's how I know. I can't trust
I
myself.
just caught that. Like,
Um,
zzz.
I said, I tell you what, you leave this here, and you swear to do a favor for me,
Sure.
and I will help you. But it is not
If
a
it's within
favor.
my power, I will do it.
It is not a favor that comes easy, nor is this something that I will task you now. It is something that will come in the future.
Okay. And I would like to let you know this also deals with those worms. It was on the news
In
and the
what is a,
possible.
in what fashion?
It's directly linked to my family. So helping me would help stop the world from being destroyed,
So he says,
which therefore you had no business. So if you help me, you're helping yourself.
Paranoid.
it's like, he said that was good. He's like, you should try that on someone next time. Maybe it'll work. Uh, do we have a deal or not?
Sure.
So he asks for your hand. He's like, hold out your hand, please.
Okay.
Takes off,
I hold it out.
takes out a machete and cuts your hand off. No, I'm just kidding. This is what I needed. The hand of a white man.
Like, God damn.
Caucasian hand. Okay.
Like, I'm not white. No, I'm British.
So
No,
he
you're a
grabs your
redhead. You're a
hand
redhead. You're
and
soulless.
right,
Perfect.
you have no soul. He grabs your hand from the underside, holding your palm up. With his other hand, he reaches over and traces a line across your forearm, right straight down your forearm, and then makes several other lines going across. And as he's doing it, you can hear him mumbling, and he's not making any words, just and with that, you can feel your fist automatically
Punch it.
it balls up against you. The more you try to open your hand, the more it closes into a fist, and then it lets go. He says, "Very well, have a seat. We have a deal now."
Okay.
So he explains to you that the what you have is a haunting spirit, but it is different. Your aura was affected by this thing, and how long did you say you were exposed to it?
A day? Like yesterday?
No, then we're talking about a very powerful spirit indeed, because it left a psychic imprint on you, almost as if it tagged you for hunting. So wherever you are, it knows. It's a good thing that I have protections. So as he's saying it, you can feel this heat building up inside you. I need you to roll 20, please.
Against
Just roll it, sir. Okay.
rituals, circles, spell magic, ward.
Okay. You felt that heat roll, just growing inside you. It's almost as if you just ate a really hot, spicy meal. So you know how normally your body temperature starts to,
Yeah.
to heat up, and you get a thin layer of perspiration, and you start breathing a little heavier, and your eyes adjust because it just gave you this really this strong migraine type headache. Your eyes readjust, the headache passes, the heat fades, and now you can see inside the shop that there are the glowing wards and symbols everywhere, like all on the entrances where his glass was, in the back, right above the entrance to his storage area, in the counter. They weren't there before. Now you can see them. It's almost as if you're seeing in like an ultraviolet spectrum to be able to see these things.
So yeah, like I said, scan everything, memorize everything since I have the skill.
Okay. when you do that, and you're passing you're just making a big circle, just drinking all this information and all this new sensations, getting back to the front window pane. You can see the people, passing, pedestrians walking by. No one's really paying attention to this shop. But directly across the street, and you don't need to roll perception for this. Directly across the street, you see a person that is approximately 25 years old, red hair, and he's like, "Wait a minute, that's me. It looks just like you." And he's staring at you with soulless black eyes. And he wasn't there before, because you're not naturally observant, but now you can see him just staring at you. So you see him too?
Yeah.
It's like, I saw him when you
Yes.
came. I saw him when you came into the shop. It's like, yeah, that's a powerful spirit. It's like, and if he's hunting you, then whoever brought him into this world must truly wish you ill will, if not death. So whatever you need to do to make amends or to defeat this thing, because I don't believe that you have it in you to kill it, and you certainly don't have enough money for for a weapon to kill it. So, but I'm going to give you this. And he finally, you could see him like take some wire cutters and snip something underneath the counter. And he brings up this. It looks like something that was made from a hanger, because it's made of a cheap wire, but it's fashioned in a circle within a circle. And then he strings a leather band around it, and as he puts it on you. Once he puts it on you, what you didn't notice before is that you couldn't smell anything. Now you're smelling everything in this place, and it is intense. The incense, the candles, his smell, your smell. It's intense and it's momentary, but it's enough to make you a little dizzy and a little nauseous at the same
Overwhelm my
time.
senses.
So it's just,
Yeah, hold myself against the counter. Like,
whoa. It's like, yeah, it's like whoever tagged you did a good job. So, but just so you know, this is not permanent. It's, this has he says the energy required to maintain this is substantial. So what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to find, if you know someone who has the type of energy that this would require to refill it, to maintain it. This is the best that you could hope for, is to remain invisible to that thing for 24 hours. So
okay.
essentially, someone needs to sacrifice their PPE into this thing, enough PPE in order to maintain the enchantment. And with that, our business is concluded. Oh, one other thing. Your family. You said your family has been taken, and it has something to do with that monster that appeared in downtown Los Angeles, and then in those other places across the world.
Yes.
So then you are linked to a bigger a bigger plot. I imagine. He's like, I've had visions of a day of reckoning. It's like I saw fire in the sky. I saw monsters, demons, things from other worlds taking people, and subjecting them to horrible tortures. It's like things that I would never wish another man to ever see in their lifetime. It's almost as if you were destined to come to my shop. And he holds up a mug, and he's like, and he's he gives his own little prayer, and he says, "You have a little." He said, "You don't have a lot of time, my friend." So
So I'm gonna end up thanking him, and I hopefully will hear from him again when he needs me.
It's like, oh, you will. So you take care of yourself. I have a favor to collect on soon.
Not a problem. I'm gonna see if I can go back to Id to get any information of people that he knows that I can meet through him
Mm-hmm.
if it's possible. Hence, I'm trying to meet up with the other players. So
Okay. All right.
that'll,
It's like before you go, and he hands you his card. It's like if you should ever need any other information, is as you can call. It's like the card says Maurice LaMarche, and it says shaman, and which is not necessarily true for what he does, but that's how he framed it. And he says, "Hang on to this." All right, and so
and if you need any knowledge, I have some knowledge. I've studied the occult, but I've not practiced it. So if I can give you any information, you can ask away.
if you say so, young man. Because you're kind of just like, what, 20?
Yes, only that close to 20. Yeah,
Yeah. So he's not looking at you as an unequal in any way. Not condescending, but definitely not an equal.
inexperienced.
In
Basically.
experience, exactly. So it's like, very well. You do be careful now.
Okay.
All right.
And
Leaving the
then
store, as you leave the store, you can still see him, your doppelganger, just directly across the street. But when you move away from the front of the door, like opening the door and walking out into the street, he his head tilts like he doesn't how like this is an old shop. It shouldn't have like automatically swinging doors or anything. It's just like, and when you move away, he's still staring at the door and looking in both directions, like something, with a suspicious look. And he turns and starts walking in the opposite direction down that street.
his name was Maurice again.
Maurice LaMarche.
Maurice.
Okay, so I'm going to go to Orion and then back to Patch and Seraph. The Venoms are they seem to be an amalgam of three distinct species. There's and I had them written down, but I left them at my job, of course. But there's a species of venomous snake, which is one of the most venomous snakes in the world. A species of venomous spider, and the blue-ringed octopus. They're all held together by what looks like a DNA sequence that's just binding them. It was part of Viper's mutation. It's been documented. You have records of it because of your contacts and through Interpol. She mostly works out of Australia and Southeast Asia. So that's primarily her territory. The fact that she's in the United States is alarming in itself, but she's not necessarily on any Interpol most wanted. But she is a subject of interest, a person of interest, or she was. She was a person of interest in at least 24 cases throughout Southeast Asia.
Okay, so what I want to do is I want to use my chemistry analytical to see if I can separate the DNA sequence that's holding together the venoms.
Mm-hmm. To what end? Just give me an idea.
Basically, my idea is to get a sample of this to see if we can maybe develop a counter venom and include something to counteract this sequence, because it's more potent and it seems to fight harder against treatment than natural venoms.
Mm-hmm.
And if this protein is, this DNA, I guess, would be holding it together, it might be that we would need to attack that as well in order to create a counter venom to it.
Okay. All right. So going through that process, you know from your expertise that will take some time in order to do. The DNA sequence forms a sort of it acts as a bonding agent for all three of those venoms, so that they each have their own individual qualities, but they work in tandem. So each one they attack different. They attack differently. Some are muscular, some neurotoxins, hemotoxins, and then there's another one, and I can't remember it, but each one of them has its own specific targeted group. That's how but she's binding them all together, because normally it wouldn't matter whichever one is the most dominant or the most potent is the one that usually affects the body first. But with this, it's utilizing all three simultaneously, and that particular DNA sequence is the bonding agent that catalyzes that. So doing that is going to take some time, because that's more of a it is chemical. So you do understand that that's going to take a lot of time in order to extract that out.
Yeah, and I'm assuming a lot of that would have to do with the lab equipment would be doing it, and I'd be waiting
Right.
around.
That's what I was getting.
So,
I was getting to that part. Yeah.
yeah.
Most of it
So
on autopilot.
So while those machines are doing what they're doing,
Mm-hmm.
I'm also going to utilize my research skill to try and find out who the best people would be to help me figure this out, like doctors or
Mm-hmm.
biochemists.
There's some hematologists you do that are world famous for the study of these types of things. There's one right now that is in we're in Southern California, so he's at a convention in San Diego. He does consult with the NSA on time to time for different projects. So he's probably the most. He's the one that's closest and the most readily available. All the other ones are outside of the country. His name is Clifford Seagrave. Okay, and he's a doctor, obviously. He's a hematologist. And he's from Northern Ireland. Mr. Seagrave is 52 years old. All right. So he's the most readily available or the most near to you that you could possibly reach out, and he has actual file with the NSA. Now, what else were you going to do with that?
Well, getting the contact together, I would prepare an email, introduce myself, who I am, who I work for, and tell them I've got a sample of venom from a metahuman that seems to be these three different types, and it has a bonding sequence of DNA. And I would like to get his opinion on using his expertise to help develop an anti venom combination
Mm-hmm.
that would include attacking this bonding agent that seems to make them work in tandem.
Okay. So if you guys can help it, try not to log off the Zoom. All right.
Actually, Lou,
Yeah.
I'm about to switch from mobile to PC shortly.
Okay. So he doesn't. You're not going to get a response right away. You prepare the email, you send it out. Are you going to send Are you going to send any other information about the venom itself, or just give him? You're just going to summarize it as you just did.
Yeah, summarize it. Let him know that if he's willing to help, I'd get him a sample of it.
Okay.
A sample of the DNA.
All right. Alrighty. Okay. What else are you doing after that? I want to just make sure that we cover all bases if you're not doing anything else.
Okay.
You're muted.
After that, I'd probably start trying to look up whatever information we might have on possession or supernatural phenomenon of mystical nature.
Okay.
That would be.
All right. Anything more specific, or are you just doing a general search?
Trying to do a search. Maybe focuses because I don't have that much information from what it told me.
Mm-hmm.
So trying to get a better information about what we might be dealing with. Because if it's a possession, even though this particular metahuman's dead, if it's a possession, we might not have seen the last of this problem.
Okay. All right. All right. Very well. Very well. Good. 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 Let's see. All right. And okay, so Patch and Seraph, you're going through the substances that you had gotten from the server meltdown and from Seraph himself. I'm sorry. Somebody say something? Oh, okay. The initial information would suggest that the substances do match. If memory serves from the last game, the substance for that device, that propulsion device that they were working on, is pretty much it's almost a match to what makes up Seraph's edifice, his body.
Yeah, yeah.
Now there were some compounds that did not correspond to the periodic table, so that's where the bottleneck is, because they don't exist on the periodic table. You're having a hard time identifying what they are. That pretty much encompasses the remaining 20% of the chemical makeup of whatever it is that they're trying to weaponize. Well, the university's not trying to weaponize, but you surmise that they're trying to weaponize this technology.
Hey, Lou.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Whenever you're ready, can you switch me over?
Yeah, go ahead, man.
All right, I'm logging out here, and I'm just waiting on you to add me in there.
Okay. Done. It's just like all moved around.
We switch places.
Yeah, that's the problem with this thing. I could easily just move everybody around. It's just a pain in the butt.
Yes, I'm Seraph.
Welcome, gentlemen.
So
I'm secure in my corner.
he's the only one that seems to be fine. So can I touch it? Still the best movie ever.
I have no idea what y'all are talking about.
Party Animal.
I don't either.
Oh, 80.
Yeah.
Who?
A movie called Party Animal.
Oh,
It is
okay.
just the worst. It's the best worst movie ever.
It's in the same
I
genre
know of it.
as
Yeah,
Toxic Avenger.
I know of it.
Yeah, it's just a fun watch. It's just like I can't believe they just someone made this. Said, damn, all dressed up and nowhere to go.
All right, so what I'm gonna do. Okay, so what I want to do is this.
Mm-hmm.
Since I know about the material that they have in there,
Yep.
and they're trying to make it stable.
Mm-hmm.
What I want to do is I want to run a simulator
Okay.
to find what what combination of voltages or molecular structures would stabilize the field without directly altering that material. You know what I mean?
So you're gonna apply currents to it.
Yeah, different sets of currents and different voltage, different at different amps,
Okay.
and maybe even um try try with the amps first and see if I can find something that will make it stable and not have to directly manipulate the material because they're trying to do that and they don't know that stuff is in there. So I just can't come out right and like, look, this shit's in here. So I'm gonna try to work
He's a
around it.
wizard and I'm an assassin.
Yeah, basically.
I'm going to be looking annoyingly over his shoulder,
Okay.
wondering what he's doing.
So the substance itself it has a texture of fine sand. So, but there are its molecular structure. You can see, Seraph, is it has a lot of similarities in a lot of the chemical makeups to your epidermis. Did I say that right? That's the skin, right? So
Yes.
what would be
Yes,
your
yes.
character's skin because you're a full robot. So it's similar in that, but there are those unknown compounds, and he's trying to apply the voltages to it. Now I need for you to make a 20-sided save, please.
Who?
You?
Me?
No, Seraph.
Okay, give me a moment. I'm just getting ready to log into Roll20.
Okay. Because you're cycling through it. You can at lower voltages you don't see any. There's no changes in the chemical makeup. There's it's still pretty inert. It's when you start cranking it up you start noticing some changes to it. That's why I need Seraph to roll.
Yeah, I'm coming in from a full boot up.
Nice.
Always fun.
Turn it back on.
Yeah, I think I have to get thermal paste for my graphics card.
Might, because those things are always weird like that.
Yeah, but I've had to I've taken my laptop apart a couple times to clean it out, and I probably need new thermal paste because I have a separate graphics card on my laptop.
Did you blow it up?
I did not hear a word you just said, Spanky.
Yeah, you seem you sound really low today. Are you too far from your mic?
Yeah. See?
Get a little closer, closer. Don't be shy. I keep showing my age with every commercial interlude.
Yeah, you do. You really are. Like, I thought I was bad with some of my references
Oh,
and the
man.
things I say.
Why do you do this?
The other day, I was just listening to a bunch of intros to old '80s shows for no
Oh
reason.
yeah,
I fell into
so you're getting
I fell into a YouTube black hole. I was just like, I remember the Dukes of Hazzard. Just a good old boy, never needing no harm. I was like, ooh.
Yeah, so you're fully getting ready for Demolition Man time.
Oh God! Seriously, they're making 3. They made a 2.
No, they never made it two.
Oh, I was gonna
They're
say
supposed to be making it too.
this is Demolition Man. The
I
geezers.
said you. No. I said you're getting ready. You're gonna listen to commercial jingles and
Oh yeah,
'cause
yeah.
what's
It's
the
like
name?
the Oscar Mayer
Show
show
songs.
intros.
The guy that's playing the new Blade is supposed to be in talks to make
Mahersh-
Demolition Man.
Mahershala Ali. He should just
Really?
make his own movies, man. Why does he have to remake every damn Wesley Snipes movie?
Well,
It's like-
Marvel.
It's like there's only
Marvel
3
is
black
something.
dudes in Hollywood.
Well,
Are you
yeah,
sure?
that's how Hollywood works. You know that.
The most famous black person at the time makes everything.
Like Morgan Freeman had like the ridiculous run of movies. So did Samuel L. Jackson. You know, Cuba Gooding Jr. had a ridiculous run until he lost his mind.
Yeah, he
And-
really
And
did
he
lose his
did,
mind.
Boat Trip.
Yeah,
He-
so
he really did lose his
that's
mind.
how it works.
And Morgan Freeman, Morgan Freeman was old when he was a baby. He came out, why, mother, I need the titty.
I need me some mother's milk.
He's like, right? I was just gonna
God
say that shit.
said,
He's like, the baby needs mother's milk.
He looked a little younger on Sesame Street, just a little bit.
Dude, he was
that
old
was
in
his
the
black
electric
powder on
company.
his hair.
In the electric company, it's like, damn, he still looks like he's 100. I'm Morgan Freeman. Come here, children. Like, no, stranger danger.
Well, I mean, technically, he's played God like.
A bunch of
Twice.
times.
Oh
Yeah,
my
yeah.
God, funny shit. What
So
if
he must be that old.
He's old as God.
I would like him to narrate my life, but there's some shit I don't want narrated.
Nah, I need Samuel L. Jackson to narrate my life.
Yeah.
So
You
roll
do.
the
You need a
D20.
few
They'd be like,
motherfuckers.
from the ages of 15 to 35, he masturbated multiple times a day.
Oh, that's fine. Throw that in my
No,
story. I don't care. I don't
Remember,
care.
shit, I'd rather have Vader himself narrating mine. He'd have the
James
inflections
Earl
and the right
Jones.
place.
I want
Yeah,
Dave
James Earl Jones.
Chappelle.
Oh my God. All right.
Like, this motherfucker.
I'm actually rolling right now.
Okay, good. Charlie Murphy.
If roll 20 will respond appropriately.
All right, so don't even worry about it because it's taking. When you get it ready, get it ready. But what happens is at a certain once you get into the higher threshold of electrical current, as much as your systems can handle.
12.
You, Seraph,
Lou,
yeah, I saw it. You
Yeah.
feel as it's hitting, and the substance is starting to react. And by react, I mean it's like physically undulating and moving as you're passing current through it, and you start feeling it to where your diagnostics have start registering an error. And right on your where your forearm is, you can see the surface level, the surface layer. It's starting to undulate as if it's getting ready to come apart, like as if you were going to do
I
your
immediately-
separation.
yeah.
That's what it's starting to do.
I immediately back up. Yeah, I immediately back up like to the edge of the room.
Okay, do me a favor, Patch, and roll a perception to see if you notice, because you're running the experiment, and he's not saying a word, which is the right way to do it anyway. You do notice just he was in your peripheral, and then he wasn't. So you just happen to glance in his direction. You can see him backing up, and he has his arm up. He's holding his arm, just looking at it and looking at you, not you specific, but past you towards the substance as he's backing up against the wall.
So I stop what I'm doing
Mm-hmm.
real quick.
Okay.
Like I just turn it off.
Doing that, your epidermis, that layer of tech, it does reform to your programming,
Basically,
to your
my,
will.
My individual, my individual nanites, basically. Yeah. They calm down. Okay.
So I didn't mean to do that.
You register, and talking to Seraph, there was a magnetic field that was being generated from that current.
And I
What's
move
that sound effect?
I move cautiously closer again, and
Mhm.
as I'm doing so, I said, "There was a magnetic field being generated."
Yeah, I was running an experiment to see if I can get
Do the blow up.
the energy. I was running an experiment to see if I can run a current through the material without it collapsing, and then keep it
At a
stable and see what
s-
frequency that would be. But I didn't expect
or
it to affect you like that.
it affected me that way because it affected the material that way.
So this material, even though it's from a different source, is connected to you somehow.
It seems that it is similar.
I mean, I expect it to be similar, but I didn't expect the current from the experiment to affect you here like that.
Well, if it is similar or the same, it will have the same effects. I am significantly susceptible to magnetics.
Hmm. Okay, I'm gonna have to figure something out.
Suddenly, a giant horseshoe magnet comes down from the ceiling.
You see a hand come down with a bandage across it.
Mm,
All right, this is not gonna be good. I don't like this already.
What is it you are working on? Is that the
Oh,
material from the lab?
yeah, this is the material from the lab. Um, they're working on some kind of anti-gravity engine, and this material is in 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 the project, and it's absorbing energy at a decent rate. And when there's enough power going through the device itself, this material collapses the field, and then the whole engine drops. So I was trying to find a workaround because they don't know the material's there. I found it in there. They don't. They're being blocked from seeing it. So they're not going to find a workaround without actually knowing what it is. So I'm trying to find a workaround to help them without knowing that this stuff is in there. That's what I'm trying to do.
Lou,
Yep.
with all the common sense of a teenager, I poke it.
Okay. As you're talking with Seraph, he just casually turns and puts his finger in it. You have enough for what would be about. Now, I'm not good with math because if I was good with math, I'd be in finance, and if I was in finance, I wouldn't be here because I'd be making too much money. I'd have lots of cocaine and hookers, but I've said too much. Now,
Hey, you gotta have goals.
right? We all have
Yep.
dreams. Now, you have a sizable mound. I would say approximately 2 pounds of this material. The Once you put your finger in it, it immediately starts. It covers your entire your entire finger and then spreads across your hand. And now
Oh,
it's starting to creep up your arm.
oops.
Well,
Can I
I
tell the
traded.
difference between it and myself?
Your systems are starting to register an invasive. It's almost like invasive programming. It's just it's changing the programming for your limb.
I disconnect the part that's infected.
Okay,
Literally, I just drop it off.
and doing that, once it detaches and falls, it falls into the substance. You can see it immediately changes the molecular structure to itself of your hand. So your hand is no longer there. Your hand and up to the middle of your forearm.
How similar is that to the whole issue that took place with the worm and the trail and losing my fingers and then getting them back?
Very. It's
Did it?
it has a different end result, but the initial encounter with it
Reaction.
and reaction are identical.
Did it feel as invasive
No, the first time
as
it didn't. It was actually reinforcing your existing molecular structure, but this time it was invasive.
Patch? Please set up observation of this substance. We
Now,
should try something.
okay, so just so we're clear, you lost about half the SDC on your arm, assuming your character can regenerate. For right
Yes.
now, you did lose
Yeah.
half the SDC in your arm.
Okay, I'm aware. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I totally start. I set up. I start setting up observational research for it.
Mm-hmm.
So cameras, diagnostics, spectral analysis, all that stuff. I start setting up.
Visually, you can both see that this stuff is starting to react. Once your part fell into it and it absorbed it and changed it to itself, and it be the mound of this this nanite dust, it grew, absorbing those materials from Seraph.
So it made more of itself.
It made more of itself. It basically it used the material to replicate itself.
This could be interesting.
This is actually dangerous,
Yeah, it is.
and it should be contained.
Yep, definitely. It's affected by magnetism, right? That we've established.
Are you asking me, or are you talking to Seraph?
I was asking you.
It did have a significant reaction to magnetic fields. Yes, similar
Right,
similar to what Seraph goes through.
I must set up a containment field
Mm-hmm.
using magnetism,
Mm-hmm.
so I could keep it in that container no matter what.
Okay. Okay. That doesn't
Okay.
take you any length of time. You're able to do that within a minute. The once the field goes off, once you activate the field, the substance starts to gyrate in a not gyrate, but it starts to move in a counterclockwise fashion.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna move back to Morgan. You go back to the hospital to check up on Id. Id had checked out. The nurse says when you get to the nurse's station and you ask for him, she says, "Well, I have him here as he was released." That's weird. So it's just, I'm sorry, I just got on shift, but yeah, it seems like he was signed out.
They released him?
She was like, yeah, he was signed out by a doesn't. That's strange. And she's looking at you, and she's like, there was. I know that they wrote on this, but there's nothing there. And you're looking at a page with his information, and where the release signature should be, there's nothing there. It's like how's that even possible? She goes to one of the other nurses. Do you have the form for I can't remember his character's name, but well, I have it here. She said, "Do you have They don't put him in as Id." So she said, "Do you have the release form for Mr. Johnson?" And the other nurse is like, "Yeah, it's right there. You have it in your hand." And they go back and forth. She's like, "No, no one signed this. But that guy was just here and he signed that." Just like, which guy? The tall one? Was he small? Was he? That's weird. I can't remember what he looked like. But you were here the whole shift. Like the other nurse is that was there longer that you recognize. She's just like, I can't seem to picture his face. That's weird, right?
I think he was kidnapped. I'm gonna see about asking security to see about seeing the security cameras.
Mm-hmm.
Show my identification, my business card, and the time that supposedly he left.
Wait, so what credentials do you have? Remind me.
An international private investigator license.
So basically something you fished out of a Cracker Jack box. All right.
No, it's five. It cost me $5,000.
Yeah, I know. Relax, there, Chiefy. You want to be an international private dick.
Yes.
I knew it.
But I'm gonna ask the relay of the times that it looked like they supposedly signed out, so I can see on camera what happened to him. Because I'm gonna let him know that.
Well, she says, the time was there, and because for release forms there is a signature and there is a time that you write in, and she said, I know that they wrote on this. What? And she's just looking around the desk for some form that she knows that it can't be this one, but it's got to be on this desk. And she's just like, what? Where did it go? That's just strange. She says, okay, so you're saying he's kidnapped. Well, what do you mean kidnapped? If he were kidnapped, we would know, wouldn't we? We were here. She said Tracy was right there the whole time, and Tracy, she's like, yeah,
just like you know who signed him out. So who signed him out?
They both look extraordinarily confused, and more so than you would imagine someone would be in their position. Even if something bad did happen, they usually these people are professionals. They're pretty kept together, and they just seemed a little out of sorts, more so than anything else. You're picking that up from them. She's like, well, yeah, let's call security. So she picks up the phone. She's like, do you remember the number? It's like, yeah, security is it's right there. She points to a sheet with all the extensions. It's right there. So she picks up. She's like, I can't remember that number, and she dials it. She's like, hey, John. Yeah, I have a.
So
it says, can you get down here to nurse station 3, 3rd floor? Yeah, and she goes through the whole, identifying, and she hangs. She's like, it'll be a minute. You could have a seat, and they both still seem to be caught in some sort of miasma, like they just can't understand what happened. Like the guy disappeared.
I'm gonna look. I'm gonna see about using my lore against psychic and psionics to see if that mind was, for the most part, if somebody dealt with it, if they were like hypnotic suggestion or so forth.
It's a possibility. You won't know for sure because you these are the after effects, but they're exhibiting clear signs. Yeah, you have to actually witness it, but they're exhibiting signs of some sort of suggestion. So that's where you are right now with that.
So I'm gonna see if I can try to contact it on the phone.
All right.
Because since I gotta sit and wait, see if I can call him. See if he picks up, and if he doesn't, I have suspicions that he was kidnapped.
You suspect the suspicions?
Yes. And then if I need to, I'll go to the precinct to see, because he might have been the one that did it. So I don't know.
All right.
To cover himself up that he was here or not.
You call his phone.
Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system. Is not available. At the tone, please record your message. When you've finished recording, you may hang up.
So I'm going to
What
use...
the heck?
see if I could find the GPS to see put a trace on it. It's like $15 online. See if I can find where his phone is.
All right, so you do the track your phone, nothing. No signal.
Okay. So
Find
I'm
my
gonna give it a
friend
few minutes
feature.
to see if we
Yeah.
talk to security.
All right, so the security guard comes down. He's just like, so, yeah, what's going on, guy? What's going on, ladies? It's like one of our patients. He goes back to the paper. She's like, Mr. Johnson, Mr. Edward Johnson. He checked out not too long ago, and we don't have a record of it. This man is his friend, one of his friends, and
Yes.
he was here
My
to pick him
cousin.
up, but he checked out, but it doesn't look we remember seeing someone come in and take him out of here, but we just can't. We don't know.
Ask if we could. If I can view the security footage since it wasn't that long ago.
So he's like, yeah, are you a cop or? It's like, I don't know.
I'm gonna show my card and my identification. I work as a liaison for the police department.
Do you have MA? What's your MA?
I suck ass. No, no, I suck ass. It's 11. That's why I'm just gonna show my credentials. Let them talk.
All right. Well, I mean, no, but they're not necessarily advocating for you to see the film. They did what you asked to get the security guy down there. Now,
Yeah.
an MA percentage at 11 is 40%.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, you know how I know?
41.
Big ass attribute chart.
Do I add my intelligence since it's a skill?
No, it is not a skill. Okay.
I would've.
So he's like, look, you're not a cop. I can't show you that information. They said that's hospital property and it's private. It's like, so unless you come back with a warrant, I can't really help you.
Okay.
So even the nurses are still like, but I don't understand what happened. It's like we saw him. We knew he left. It's like, I'm really sorry. We're not usually this absent-minded.
I'm gonna let the ladies know. It looks like you probably were victims of a medal.
No. She's like, what are you talking about? Like one of those mutants?
Yes.
So
Those
Mr. Johnson,
freaks.
she's like, Mr. Johnson's a mutant?
No. He's probably a victim of. I cannot release any more information about the investigation.
Oh, but we got to release information to you, huh?
Yes, nigga. So, I mean, at a current case that he's been dealing with, they could have came to take vengeance, and that's why they probably wiped your members.
So the security guy's like, what are you talking about?
Mr. Johnson is part of a metahuman task force for the police.
Oh,
And he was assaulted. That's why he was here. But we're afraid that they might have taken vengeance on him. That's why he's missing. I was sent here to pick him up to see if he's okay after his injuries, but he's not here. And I'm gonna look at the security. How long have these women worked for the hospital, but they can't remember anything? How many times has that happened?
oh, I'm going to give you one more chance to roll your MA. Let me remind you of the time I was just thinking of that. We'll talk about that later. That's later.
Yeah.
But he's like, all right, fine. What time do you think he checked out? Is it even on the paper? She's like, it was right there.
It means no.
So it couldn't have happened any more than, oh my God, what time is it? It's like, I missed my fucking bus. Damn it. It's like, I should have been gone like an hour ago. She's like, she looks up at the wall clock. It's like, why did that say? Oh, I gotta go. I got my babysitter's is freaking out right now. So the one that's Tracy, she's getting her stuff ready and she's getting ready to leave, and the other lady's just like uh, I don't. Without the timestamp, I don't know how far back we're talking. I got here 10 minutes ago, and I remember Mr. Johnson before I left. Before I got here, not before. When I got here, I remember he was here, and then he checked out. But if what you're saying is true, then that may not be true at all either. What the hell's
This is why
going
I'm
on?
gonna review the security camera footage.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna whisper to the security guard saying that he could have had a hunch and he could take all the credit. So the hospital will award him anything. And he can take credit.
You're speaking my language. So he's just like, yeah, let's just go check this out. If it's some sort of, if it's one of those meta freaks, that took one of the patients from this hospital, that's not going to reflect good on me anyway.
So yeah, let's go see this.
All right. You go to the security desk. There's a bank of about 8 monitors, and each corresponds to a specific wing, and then within each one of those there's different cameras. So he goes to the nurse's station that they're talking about, and he types in the command for the search window, and he goes through the video, rewinding it. Approximately 35 minutes ago, you escorted Id out of the hospital.
That's not me.
It's like what? That's not you. That's so he freezes a frame and then he just blows it up. He said, "That's you." It's like, what kind of crap game are you playing here, man?
I was on another side of where are we? LA, right?
Yeah.
I was investigating a shop on the other side, Papa Magic's.
This is what happens when you don't take notes.
I got his name though.
It's Papa Chango's.
Yeah.
I couldn't have made it any easier to remember.
Yeah.
We basically say Papa Chango for everything. So he's like, look, man, if it's some sort of one of those meta freaks, or and they could do that, and so how do I know you're not one of them? Reaches for his gun, shoots in the face.
Look at him. I'm like, if I would have been one, don't you think I would have exhibited powers just to get the information?
Or
I would need to ask you for help.
Or you want me to think that?
That is a get smart response.
Or you want me to think that that's a get smart response?
Thank you for your assistance. I'm gonna go report this in.
So,
And I'm going to see if I can go to the police precinct since I had memorization when he talked to his partner, her name, see if I can contact her.
okay. All right. Orion.
Yep.
You get an email back from Dr. Seagrave. He thanks you for the line, and he is very interested to see what you have. If you have something digitally that you can send him, he will review it. If you have a readout of all the components, the compounds, all that stuff that you can send over to him, so that he can run simulations and try to look at what the strand is, the bonding agent, how that happens, how it's possible. He'd be more than willing to look at it. He's like, I've never come into contact with anything that can do what you're suggesting is being done right now. So I'm extraordinarily interested in seeing your research.
Whenever I get those readouts, I'd go ahead and send him copies of those.
Okay. Yeah, you can send them what you have, and the other stuff is still working, but you do have a pretty good sizable chunk of information already. In your base with your base analysis.
Yeah. Oh, whatever I can send him. Yeah, I'd send him what I have, and whatever finishes up when it finishes up, I'd send him more information as it comes in.
Okay. All right. Okay, so your cell phone buzzes, and it's a text message from your supervisor. He says, "Call the office now."
I'll call the office.
All right. And you pick up. He's like, uh, "It's like, all right." So, no, he's like, "I know you can't. I know you can't talk, but you're gonna listen. Whatever you're doing, I need you to drop it. So I need you to drop it and report back in immediately." And then click.
Uh, I'm gonna I'm gonna continue to run the analysis, but I'm gonna tell him that I can't stop the process once it's started on what it's doing.
That's via text, assuming.
Yeah.
So again, you see those three dots as if the person's either typing or thinking, and then ETA question mark.
What would be the likely ETA on the analysis?
It's cycling through, so it could be at the current speed, it gives you an ETA of 6 hours.
So I'll send him back 6.5 hours. Give myself a little bit of window to take a look at it.
Okay. So he says fine. Report in ASAP. And bring your research.
I'm assuming that I'd already sent the professor.
That's not. What do you mean? Assume you either did it or didn't.
Well, before the text came in.
Well, you tell me. Did you or didn't you? Didn't you set it?
I would have sent it if the text had not come in beforehand.
Okay, so but the text did come in beforehand. Are you sending it anyway, or you're not?
I would not send it immediately anyway. No,
Okay.
I'm gonna make my decision when I have a chance to look at the data.
Okay, so you're gonna wait for the thing to finish its analysis.
Essentially, yeah.
Okay. All right. There's going to be some time jumps here, so bear with me. Once it finishes its analysis, it gives you the DNA strand, DNA sequence, and then there's some unknown compounds that are listed. There are microscopic anomalies that it's reporting. Those are the anomalies that it can't quantify. So it's giving you all the chemical compounds. It's giving you the DNA sequence for Viper herself. It does match her profile. Her profile is that she has the ability to manufacture. Her ability is the ability to manufacture different types of poisons in her body. But she's never been able to. Combine them. That was never a part of her profile. So that part of her abilities is either brand new or has never been quantified. The part of the bonding agent is what's showing up as unknown at the molecular level. So that's the part that's not giving you all the information that you need.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and put everything together in there. Also, make something of a record of it in no in some form of format that I would be able to recognize it, but somebody else would not.
All right, you're gonna have to be a little bit more descriptive. What does that mean?
And
None of us
hold
are
on, let me
understanding
go
that
ahead
none of us are experts at any of the shit that we're talking.
Yeah.
Just a little bit more.
Let me look at my skills. I think I have the right skills to do this. I'm not 100% sure though.
Okay. If you don't, you can still attempt it. It will just be at a lower percentage.
Okay, so what I want to do is essentially use my intelligence skill to make an attempt to put the information down in some sort of cryptic way that I would know what it means, but somebody else doesn't.
All right, so that would be cryptology, wouldn't it?
Cryptology specifically applies to creating radio
Okay.
versions of it.
Cryptology can be used across. It's not just specific to radio. It's communications, yes, but it can be applied.
So because you're basically making your own code, right? Because your own language in order to decipher this, but you're also doing it on the fly. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is, if you don't have cryptology, we'll look at the skill itself. And I don't have it, and you'll just get the base roll.
You want to see if, because intelligence is also dealing with that kind of thing as well, but that's from the espionage side of things.
Thought I had the skill book here. I'm sure I do. I wish everyone was intelligent, like me. Still the funniest movie. This is not in any way. So it's in espionage, correct?
Intelligence is in espionage, and cryptology is in communications.
No, intelligence doesn't would not apply. So let's look at
anything to do with codes is cryptology.
Yeah.
Which creates and deciphers codes.
And that's under communications, right?
See,
senor. Where are my old man glasses? Read this. Cartography. There we go. Got my big book of skills. All right, so the roll would be 25.
Page 50.
Because you don't have the actual skill, you're going to use it at the base percentage. Okay, so you come up with something that you think is coded, but that would be the percentage for anyone to break it, just so that we're clear. Anyone that's looking at it could utilize that particular that score that you made because you didn't necessarily pass the skill. I'll do it that way. That's going to be the base roll plus any bonuses that whoever could potentially try to crack it would be able to add to it. All right, so that takes you that doesn't necessarily take you a huge amount of time. Are you going to go back to your CO, or are you going to make another detour?
I'm gonna go ahead and fill out a report, excluding obviously that I've copied the information,
Mm-hmm.
and include the analysis that the machines gave within the report.
Okay.
Since I did tell him I had to finish running the analysis, he would expect those to be there.
Okay. So give me a couple of steps ahead of what you're doing. So you're doing the report.
Yeah. And tell him that I'd asked the help from a specialist to decipher the chemical analysis. That I'd already sent out the basic information that I already had,
Mm-hmm.
and that the more thorough analysis that just finished has been completed, and I'd tell them what the better analysis came up with, and include the printouts from the machine.
Okay. All right. You you make it back to your HQ. You can see your commanding officer, and it's mostly glass enclosures for the offices, so it's not like he doesn't see you, you don't see him. He's sitting, and there is a gentleman sitting to your left, his right, and one that's standing directly opposite him on the other side of the desk. He notices you, and the gentleman turns, and he looks like he's in his mid to late 50s. Okay. It's Caucasian, and he's dressed impeccably. Okay. What was your commanding officer's name?
A.D. Schultz.
Okay, that's right.
I'm guessing these guys would be like typical looking spooks looking over the shoulder of the AD.
The one sitting, you didn't get a good look at his face as you're walking towards it. It didn't turn to you, but the one that's standing, and that was facing him, yes. You can see the wireless mic that goes into his ear with the semi-transparent earpiece. He's not wearing like sunglasses or anything like that, but he's impeccably dressed in a black suit, nondescript white shirt, black tie, and he turns back to your CO as you're walking into the room. Assuming you knock, and he tells you to come in. Okay. So he says, this is one of our operatives. This is Agent Orion of the GSTF. He's been looking into these anomalous occurrences, including the attack at that restaurant. It was a Chipotle, wasn't it, Orion?
Mhm.
He seems oddly on edge because he doesn't. This is the first time in all the time that you've worked with him he's ever addressed you by your code name.
And I'm assuming it was a Chipotle then.
Yes.
Then I would nod.
Say, oh, that's right. He's a mute, so I'll do the he's like I'll do the translations. He communicates telepathically. That is not a problem for you gentlemen, is it? So the guy that's standing is just no, it is not. So he looks at you, Agent Orion. I need for you to walk me through the events at that location.
As far as I know, there was an event where
I'll stop right there. I'm going to ask you a question. The communication is two-way, or is it just you speaking to them and then receiving a message?
It's me speaking. I can receive telepathic communications.
Mm-hmm. But that's from other.
But I cannot facilitate somebody else thinking back at me.
Okay. Just want to make sure I have it clear. So go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
All right, so as far as I'm aware, a known metahuman criminal was in the facility where id and asked them if they know who id is.
So you're referring to Detective Edward Johnson, the tall MIB looking dude. He has a notepad out. You're referring to Detective Johnson. He was at the scene.
Yes, and his associate and I believe cousin Morgan.
Cousin
as well.
It's like you do know that Morgan's last name is what?
Oh, Cornwallis.
So you do realize that Mr. Cornwallis is Australian. And Mr. Johnson is African American.
Aborigines.
It's racist.
Gonna, yeah, I'm totally gonna pull the whole racist. Humans are humans to me.
He says he was not aware that that's something. He's not necessarily. If you can't already tell, he's not from around here. You know what I mean? And the taller of the two gentlemen is like, I see what you mean. I see. Please go on.
You are blue.
Anyways, according to Detective Johnson, he sensed a possession occur, and the person that was possessed was the metahuman in question. I believe her name is Venom.
The 80 Schultz says he's trying to say exactly as you're thinking it to him, and he's like he sensed a possession. Are you serious, Orion? He was possession, like The Exorcist, which that's a reference you don't understand, but it's like
yeah, I'd show him. I'd actually have the because I carry that notepad,
Mm-hmm.
I'd actually flip to the page with the statements that I took down.
Okay. So the tall of the two gentlemen is like, "Do you mind?" He has his hand out. I think it would be better if I just
I
take a
hand it
look.
to him.
Okay. So he flips through your notes. He's like, "What is this Gleeble Glorp shit?" No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. You are an alien.
Yeah.
Is
It
going.
would be in English.
Yeah, I assume that. I just fucking around. So
Yeah.
he flips through your notes and he has it in one hand and he's transcribing some of the stuff that you wrote in the other. So he says, "Thank you very much. Is there anything else that you could think of?"
So I say I was analyzing the venom that she used on Detective Johnson for possible application of anti-venom in case any other future encounters with a similar powered individual
Like-
resulted in a similar injury.
So the other gentleman speaks up. He's in his you can tell he's in his 60s. His balding hair, but he has the strands. He's also impeccably dressed, and he was listening with his legs crossed. He seems extraordinarily relaxed. He speaks with a heavy Austrian accent. He's like, "So what you're saying is you have not created an anti-venom, but this detective, he survived the attack? How is that possible?"
He was rushed immediately to the hospital, and I assume that because of that, they were able to keep enough blood in him to keep him alive long enough to flush it out of his system.
That seems highly unlikely, if given your this is giving your copious notes here, but we will take your word for it. Come. Thank you for your cooperation, Assistant Director Schultz. We will be in touch. So the older gentleman stands. He gives a slight nod to Schultz. He gives a slight nod to you, and he walks out. The other gentleman hands you your pad back, and he nods to you. And nods to the AD, and the AD is like, "Yeah, yes, sir. Good to see you again there, James." And the guy walks out without saying another word. So as the door closes, you can
yelling at Orion.
You can almost hear a sphincter unclench. So he's like, "What the fuck did you get into?" It's like, he said, "You know that?" He said, "That was that was the Assistant Director of National Intelligence. Why the fuck is the Assistant Director of National Intelligence here for an attack, for a metahuman attack at a goddamn Chipotle? Explain that to me, Blue Boy."
I think that the case may be a little bit above our pay grade.
It's like, "Look, when I send you out into the field, I don't expect this kind of heat. This is not where we are. We don't have any kind of juice right now. You and everyone that looks like you and is an offshoot of you, every time you step out of this fucking building, I get a call about something you either broke, damaged, or scared the fuck out of." And here we are again. And you can't even say anything. You can't. You're fucking. And he's just holding his throat. It's like, fucking can't say shit. And I don't like you in my head. That's annoying. Fucking do that shit. All right, look. You need to find that. I need you to find that detective and get him in here now. We need to get to the bottom of this because those guys are our replacements. Those guys want to shut us down. They do not want us to exist. He's like, and my boss, my mentor, tasked me with bringing this office to code, and I'm not going to let that man down. So just go.
Smurfy ass out of here.
He's just he has like you could see he's trying to find the insult that he hasn't used on you yet, but he's struggling. He's just, get you
Fucking smart.
It's like, look, just go. You got anything else you want to say, Agent Orion?
I'll just smile at him and wave. Head out the door.
Fucking blue retard. No, I'm just kidding. He didn't say that. All right. So we're gonna get back to Seraph and Patch. Before I
Could I?
Yeah,
could
go
I
ahead.
get one more thing in there. I'd actually head out to the hospital.
Okay.
That way we don't have to skip more.
No, that's fine. When you get to the hospital, you get to the hospital just as Morgan is leaving the hospital. Now, Morgan, you run into Orion as he's pulling up in his sedan because he's not driving his giant turtle. I'm going to tell you right now. The fucking turtle pulling up to the hospital parking lot and shit.
Well, if Dumb and
No,
Dumber
I
did it with
have
a
a-
hairy dog van.
I have a used car.
Yeah, no, I'm saying
it's
it's standard issued for agents to have a sedan. You can, when you get to the lobby, you can see a not disturbed, but a concerned Morgan walking out of the hospital. Not rolling perceptions. It's irrelevant at this. Not gonna. That's just stupid tripe. But you do see him as he's coming out, getting out of his car, and the reason why you see him is because he's blue. So he's standing out in a sea of white people.
What's up, Davide?
So I walk up to him, nod. What brings you here?
I'll tell him I need to see Detective Johnson.
Wait, hold on.
That's id.
No, I don't hear anything.
Well, you have an automatic mind block.
No, I just roll resist.
Okay, let's
Honey.
let's just say for the sake of argument, he's trying to communicate with you, and you're not actively resisting it.
So I'm gonna let him know that he's missing. It seems like he's been kidnapped by me.
Visibly rolling his eyes. You see Orion's take out his smartphone and visibly, frustratingly start typing something on it.
Okay, what are you doing?
From
And-
behind the scenes,
And whoever
sending an update to AD Schultz.
and let Blue Boy know that he was kidnapped and they have no information about it. We have a timestamp on the camera, but there's no proof, there's no documentation. He just got up and left, and they don't remember him. Except when I saw the security footage, it was me. But I was on the other side of town when this happened.
I'll write all that down and I'll send him a message. Ooh, this Schultz is gonna want me to bring you in.
For what? I've done no crime.
No woman, no cry. Okay, so you don't get a message. You don't get a message right away, but in about 30 seconds, you need to bring in that metahuman for questioning.
So I'll tell him. Yeah, he does. I gotta take you. You said timestamps. Are you talking about videos?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna take him in, like not forcibly, but kind of gently lead him back into the hospital on the shoulder, and go see if I can get that video.
Okay, with your credentials, you're able to get it, and it's on a DVD, so for easier storage. That's how they maintain their records. The security guard is just like, wait, you're one of these guys?
I'm gonna smile at him.
So he's like, oh, I guess I should have known. Yeah. When he hands it to you, he's like,
like he's afraid of you.
it's like, yeah, just he's just like, Tommy, where's the Lysol? As you're walking out.
My word. He must think
Alright,
you're contagious.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and take.
You're gonna take Morgan back to your HQ.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was gonna be like, and you'd like to take statements from the two women at the nurses' station.
Yeah, you could do this. You can have this conversation
that-
before you
okay.
leave. It's not necessarily a time. I'm not going to
Alright.
time jump it. So you just if he's
Them
obviously
and-
gonna
them and
suggest
the
that.
security guard.
okay.
Them and the security guy.
Okay, so the security guy does not like your voice in his head. Hates it, in fact. It's like, get the fuck. So, I don't know what Hefty Smurf's doing, but you need to stop bucking with my brain.
I'll talk for him if he needs me to. I'm gonna let him know. Look, if you need me to communicate, I'll help you.
All right. That takes it takes about a half an hour to do, and you get on your way. Well, with Patch and Seraph, the continued analysis, the magnetic field, the reaction to the substance, that is, it's for you, Seraph. It's in keeping with the way that you're structured. A lot of it. A lot of this. You do a spectral analysis. You run a full sensor sweep. The unknown components are still unknown. You haven't been able to crack that part, but everything else suggests that this particular substance is you. It is made up of the base elements of what makes you you.
Okay.
So
I look at Patch and I say, this substance is pretty much the same as I am.
yeah, so I'm assuming the people who made you are part of that, are the ones who are making that engine.
And the only issue that Seraph absolutely knows, and I'm sure, I don't know if he's communicated to you, but the people that did create him were dead. Well, at least he thought that they were dead. Biologically speaking, they were dead.
Well, the people who directly made you, but
Mhm.
I'm quite sure that organization must still exist.
Well, I'm just putting it out there that that's what he knows.
Yeah. Well, they came from multiple organizations and chose to come together to create a concept, and that is me. So I would guess very much like how this project that they are working on at the school at USC is a combination of different institutions, as I was. Different minds coming together. And we still have not dealt with the fact that there is something that is upgrading me slowly, as well as something in my system that I have to figure out. How much of this debris was left behind at USC?
There was a significant amount of it left behind after your little incident.
Mm-hmm. Significant.
It was significant.
And then he killed the dog. All right, I'm sorry. Go ahead. So
Connect.
I really got to stop saying so. The amount of byproduct from the explosion, from the meltdown, using you both have advanced mathematics. You're able to guesstimate that there is enough material, both in volume and in weight, to create at least two more of you. Because you're nanite driven, and that's how your components are based. So that's a significant amount of material that's left behind.
Patch that cannot be left in someone else's hands. I actually, at this moment, connect to the USC network remotely.
Okay.
And look at their security cameras to see what they've been doing as of late.
All right. So I'm sorry. Go ahead. Finish your thought.
And go through to see what they did. Are they collecting the materials? It's still there in the server room. What have they done?
The surveillance in that server room still hasn't been restored. The surrounding surveillance cameras, to a certain degree, have limited points of view because they had a pretty big surveillance system inside the server room itself. But your little trip into cyberspace knocked most of it out. The substance, you can see them bringing out these containers. They're metal, and they're sealed, and they're wheeling them out in carts. The logical assumption is that is part of what's been left behind. So it's part of the cleanup. You can see it says hazardous. It has a hazardous sticker. It's taped up so that it's hazardous material, potentially, and you can see a small little radioactive symbol on it. They wheel out. They wheel out two of those. They're large. They look like large storage containers, but they're metal. So yeah.
Okay, about how many of them?
In total, 2. And they're wheeling them to a secured storage facility.
Okay. I make note of that secured storage facility.
Okay. I'm going to make you roll a perception, but only because this is not something that you're specifically focusing on.
Okay, give me a moment.
Mm-hmm.
Do I get any particular bonuses because of sensor systems, or just straight 20?
Just roll a straight 20, and I'll tell you. Okay. So.
Nothing.
You know what? We're going to forego that because it's going to be a part of the story. Now, what you see as you're taking note of the entire of what's happening at the end of that hall, where the camera has that angle, there are 3 men standing by the door to the storage facility. One of them looks exactly like Morgan.
Like Morgan?
Mm-hmm. Matter of fact, it is Morgan, as far as you can tell. You see Morgan.
Whatever I'm seeing, I'm putting up on screen, on a nearby screen.
Okay.
So Patch can
So
see it.
you see Morgan, and you see 2 other white males. And they're exactly the way I described the gentleman in the office where Orion was.
Yeah, why can't I remember who Morgan was?
That's Spanky.
Oh, okay.
Redhead.
His name is literally on his face.
No, I'm not looking on the screen.
Oh, okay.
What? How'd you refer to him? You said he's a what's up? Ginger ass looking redhead.
It's Ginger.
Yeah.
Gingers have souls.
The bloody gingers are invading.
That's right. He's Australian.
No, I'm British.
Oh, okay. You lived in Australia? I thought you were Australian.
No,
Oh.
I was always British.
Yeah.
But
British.
your family died in the incident in Australia.
But I'm adopted, so nonetheless, yeah.
Okay.
I could have come from.
I'm not telling you what you are. I heard it wrong. So, but you did say your family.
Japanese.
You did say your family died, or
Yeah.
they went missing. They didn't die.
No, they
Okay.
went missing.
It was just
dead.
somebody had that vision of. Yeah, it was id. He was just like, dude, your dad's in trouble. and then he gets clawed in the chest for his efforts.
Yeah.
It's like something's amiss. Ah, why again? First missiles, then like missiles,
Demonic claws.
then demonic claws, and the butts of rifles to my face.
That's because he doesn't do what a LAPD is supposed to do.
Shoot.
You first.
Shoot first.
Yep, that's it. What's that? I don't know. Shoot it. My life was in danger.
It's like I was scared, so I shot it. All right, so I mean that's Seraph puts it up on the monitor. You see Morgan, you see those two other gentlemen as they wheel the carts in their direction. There's no audio to the feed, so they're having an exchange. You can see one of the younger of the three, with the exception of Morgan. He's out of that. He's out of my description. The younger of the two, he fishes out a paper from the inside of his lapel and he hands it to the director of the lab that you've been working with. So he turns to his assistants, and two other men come out from a side hallway. They're all dressed in the black suit, black tie, white shirt, no sunglasses, but they each grab those two pallets, not pallets, the two carts, and they start wheeling it out.
All right. So now we gotta figure out a way to get those, right?
Yes, they will have to be. I will have to try and track them via surveillance. I will go now, and I just take off.
Ah.
Right through the ceiling. Say, God damn it! We just had that repaired.
No, I don't
No.
Iron Man it. No, I don't Iron Man it.
He goes through the wall and then out.
No, I just turn into a cloud.
He's like,
This will be significant.
and then he killed the dog. Best movie ever. All right. So what? So he leaves you behind. You're like, oh, damn it!
For the love of crap. All right. So what I'm gonna do is this. They're hauling this material around. I'm gonna see if I can find I'm gonna see if I can hack into their information.
Well, you lose the feed because it was Seraph's feed that he was doing. Now he's gone. So he was the one that projected it. And his hacks are far superior than yours.
We could do about the same, I think. 'Cause I can machine meld.
Right, but you have to meld with the machine. He's doing that remotely.
I could do it remotely also.
All right, relax there, Chief. Just saying.
I can do it too.
So, I mean...
No, it should be about the same because he has mechanical link.
Yeah, so I was just fucking with him. So what are you going to do then?
Well, I'm gonna do what he did. I'm gonna go hack into the school,
Mm-hmm.
and once I get a visual on the gentleman again,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna see if I can try and access their phone. See if their phones are connected to the Wi-Fi in the school.
Okay.
And I'm gonna see if I can access their phones. So I can keep track of them directly.
All right. So you do see phones, but they're attached to the faculty and staff. You don't see any other phones.
About any other devices, computer devices.
None that have a wireless signal that you're able to see. There is a couple of surveillance cameras that are leading you can follow them. They're leading to a loading dock, and you can see these two large black SUVs, dark tinted windows, and approximately a half dozen men, all in suits. They all carrying what looks like automatic weapons, except, and this is where it's going to get a little blurry because the cameras in the loading dock aren't necessarily state of the art. So it's going to be it's pixelated, but the weapons that they're carrying seem to have a white tint to them.
A white tint.
Mm-hmm. Like the side, they look like automatic weapons. You would peg them for automatic weapons, but right above the forearm where the guard of the weapon is, and then going down the side from where the trigger is, it's white.
What the fuck? All right. So this is what I'm gonna do. What year does those vans look like?
They look current year.
The current year?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So that means they got a computer and they have a what you call it? They do that.
Low jack.
No. They have a onboard computer and stuff like that, and they do the whole. They can upgrade. You can upgrade their OS and stuff sometimes.
Okay.
So I'm gonna hack into the phone. I'm gonna hack into the car.
All right. I need you to roll the hacking.
I'm hacking into the car. I believe Mechano Link gives me. Let me see.
Plus 20%.
It's plus 20. I thought it was 30 for some reason.
You want to cheat?
No, he's right. It's plus 20.
Because you want to cheat.
Someone come on to cheat, you idiot. And then I have a 18 intelligence. That's what, plus 6?
I believe you're correct.
3.
No, I think I already have that. Wait. That's already calculated. It's got to add the 20 from Mechano Link. Computer hacking. Okay, here we go.
So it was less than 106.
Yeah.
All right. So it's essentially a 98.
No, my skill can actually go up to 106 and goes higher. And then you add your penalties, which makes it drag under.
Right. Well, even with penalties, you did make that. You're able to hack onto their onboard computer. What comes up is you can see the symbol for the NSA, and then it is firewalled, but that's easily you're able to break that. But that's the thing that stands out to you, and you are former military, so you do understand what that means.
Right. So what I want to do is track the navigation. I want to know where they're going,
Okay.
and I want to keep track of where they're going to be going.
All right, so they don't have anything programmed into a navigation computer, but you're just using it for GPS?
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to make sure I know where they're going.
Okay. So I'm going to stop it here. We're going to pick up next week. And, yeah.
Well, I got a couple of people that looked, and that was it. They only looked for a few minutes.
Yeah, the hell with them. They're stupid. They should look for longer.
Well, 200.
I don't know Morgan yet, do I?
No.
All
You know of him, but you don't know him.
I know of him. Oh,
No, you don't. You remember he was in? Well, you were in the firehouse thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you recognize him from there, from the cameras, because he has a distinct look. Not a lot of albino gingers that are floating around Los Angeles, especially with that sun. He's usually just cooked. He's probably got like severe melanoma by now.
You gonna die, homie.
It's like alien worms. Ha! The sun killed me.
But he will die discovering the truth, so it can probably be hidden again.
All right. So we are going to stop here, and we'll be coming back on Thursday. That would be Thursday the 21st of May. Players be on at 8 if you can. We're going to start as close to 9 The goal is to start at 9. Doesn't always work out that way, but we're going to try to start at 9 and go as long as we can. And thanks everybody for watching. Those of you who did, please keep tuning in. We'll get better at getting this together, and hopefully I don't have to do much people swapping in these boxes as we did before. But that's to be expected. We'll sign off for now. Thank you very much. My name is Louis. I'm the friendly GM. Not so friendly. I'm not friendly at all. And for Seraph, Morgan, Patch, and Orion, we bid you a fond and farewell.
Bye-bye.
All right.
All right, that was the post stream.